Hello everyone, this is Jennifer with LaHan Home Team and eXp Realty, and I am here with your monthly market update. We're going to talk about what's been going on. Well, first, let's start with the mortgage rates. Some of you may have noticed that they are definitely starting to creep up. If you notice, we hit historical lows at the beginning of the year, back in January. But now they're starting to go up again. We're currently around an average of 3.18%, and it's projected that it will go up a little bit more by the summer. So what are the projections right now? Well, if you look, we've got Freddie Mac, Freddie Mae, MBA, and NAR. These are all the projected rate projections. So we've got an average in the second quarter looking about 3.05%. But if you look at next year, first quarter of next year, we're looking at about 3.32%. So still not incredibly high. These are still excellent rates and which can still give you a really affordable home. George Ratney says, home sellers and home buyers have gotten really used to extremely low rates. Rates even in the 3 to 3.4% range mean extremely affordable by historical standards. So if you look historically at the past mortgage rates, we are still at really good rates. Now let's talk about housing inventory. Nationally, we're going to start with, and then we're going to narrow it down to Orlando. So housing inventory, if we talk about, let's go to the right slide here. Right? So here is your year-over-year change in housing inventory. Look at this nationally. We are definitely still in a deficit with inventory for homes. Except when you go to New York, it's not as bad as some of the other states. But out west, there's been a real demand right now for people moving out west and buying homes out there. So there's even more of a shortage out there. House prices nationwide recorded the largest annual and quarterly increase in the history of the FHFA HPI. Low mortgage rates, pent-up demand from homebuyers, and a limited housing supply propelled every region of the country to experience faster growth in 2020 compared to a year ago despite the pandemic. And this is by Dr. Lynn Fisher. And what the Wall Street Journal has said is that the residential real estate market is on its biggest tear since 2006, just before the housing bubble burst and set off a global recession. Yet in nearly every meaningful way, today's market is the inverse of that previous boom. So we're not projecting some sort of crash like you had, and I know a lot of people think there's going to be one. So in the mid-2000s, loose mortgage lending standards enabled borrowers with poor credit histories to purchase homes beyond their means, sometimes with mortgages that required low payments in the early years of the loan. And so that's what we're looking at. It's not the same as when we had that big housing bubble because our lending practices are much better now and with more stricter policies. And one more from NAR, with demand for homes outpacing new listings, buyer competition continues to intensify. On average, there were 4 offers per home sold in February of this year, according to NAR's latest February Realtors Confidence Index report. And 1 year ago, there were 2 to 3 buyers for every home sold. The intense competition has led to double-digit price growth and property selling in record time. To get back to a healthy supply level equivalent to 6 months of monthly demand, an additional 2.7 million homes should be on the market for sale. Here is the average number of offers received on the most recent closed sale. In February 2021, there were 4.1 offers on average per home. And if you look back at other years, you can see that there weren't as much of a demand. But right now, there's so many more buyers, more demand for homes. They're getting multiple offers, sellers right now. So it's not just a seller's market. It's a super seller's market right now. This is an incredibly competitive home buying environment. And that's what it is. It's just about the competition right now, which is what is driving home prices up, is that demand. The whole supply and demand, right? Now let's look here. Also, what's skyrocketing is American home equity. So because home prices are going up, that means people's home equity has gone up. If you look here, an average gain in equity is $26,300. And the current average equity of mortgaged homes is $204,000. 38.2% of all homes are owned free and clear. That's an awesome number. And 16.2% increase in equity, totaling over $1.5 trillion. Now look at nationally here, the year-over-year change in home equity. So you've got an average gain. If you look over in the West, like I was just saying, there's more demand out West right now. So if you look out West, they've got a much bigger gain in equity than maybe some other states. But overall, a lot of states are seeing a rise in their home equity. Now let's talk about sales. So sales, average day on the market. This is the United States, so we're looking nationally again. The average days on the market, you're looking at about 15 to 30 in most states, which is excellent, really. For a home to be on the market for only a month, that's great. And some are on the market for even less, depending on the area. So it depends on the city, the town, the state, and how long it's been on the market. Now let's also talk about existing home sales. So look at here, this is year over year by region. Right now, just in the US, you're looking at 9.1% of existing home sales. But look in the Northeast, you've got 13.2%. And then the Midwest is the smallest, that's 2.3%. So you kind of see it by region with the United States on where we are with existing home sales. Now, total home sales in thousands. Look at the growth we've seen from last year. Now, in the light blue, that would be this year, so this January compared to last January, which is in the dark blue. We are seeing more sales than we did last year of homes. And let's get into an update. What kind of update? We're talking Orlando. So let's get real specific with Orlando area. In the blue, you're looking at Orlando sales. This is the number of sales of homes, the average number of sales of homes over 2020. In the orange, and this is the up-to-date data that we currently have, you will see the Orlando sales for 2021, which is this year. Now look, if you notice, we saw a lot of growth over the end of last year. December saw a good amount. Then if you look back at this year, going to January, we had less sales than we did in December, but every month it's been growing since. So February we had more sales, and now March has far exceeded the last year of monthly home sales. So March has got even more, and I can't wait to see what April brings. But we've definitely had more sales over the last month. So this year seems to definitely be booming in that. But now let's look at Orlando average sale price. Again, last year's sale prices month by month is in blue, which would be 2020. And you can see where the sales prices during the beginning of the year, they grew a little bit, but not too much. But then the sales price starts to go up towards the end of the year. But now look at 2021. You've had more home sale, and now you're having a drive in increase in price. So notice in January, February, March, each month, the average sales price has increased and gone up. So we're seeing a good market right now, especially if you are a seller. All right, that is your brief and quick monthly market update. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to call us at any time, email us, or visit our website, which is lahanhometeam.com. Have a great day, everyone.